And we're live. Hey, everybody. Jim Masters here reporting for duty in the host chair here in the New York area in the United States. Great to have you with us. You are watching the infamous and the famous, both, all of the above. This is the Jim Masters Show, and we are live coming at you here with some great conversation and so much more. A few surprises for you here on JMS. How's everybody doing today? We welcome you to our entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. I always do a little bit of an open. I know if you're watching these episodes, one after the other, we have our show open with our music that everybody likes and the whole bit. I always like to do a little bit of a open and say hello to everybody because we get a lot of new viewers, and sometimes it's the first time they're watching the Jim Masters Show and our special guests, so it's new for them. So I always treat it like it's a fresh new thing for our viewers. But for those of you who watch all the time, our JMS Lovity Squad, those faithful who are there all the time for us, supporting and waving the flag and saying we love what you do, thank you so very much. You're so loyal. We love you. We love the texts and emails and the social media posts and the sharing of our links to all of our episodes. The almost 1,100, well over 1,100, almost 1,200 episodes we've done thus far as of today. It's truly mind-blowing. So we welcome all new viewers and subscribers to our channel. We would love it if you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, Jim Masters TV. That helps us continue to grow and means so much to us. And again, we have been really celebrating some amazing people the last several years here on the Jim Masters Show live series from all backgrounds, celebrity friends and guests stopping by to say hi to me and to say hi to you. And some of them you've known for years. You've seen them on TV, on stage, in films, music world, and so much more. Some are new to you as well. Well, we have somebody really special, very cool, who's an exceptional talent, a really amazing talent. And I'm talking about Jesse JTJazz Thompson. And yes, he does sow a seed of happiness with his weekend groove. However, he's been doing this for years. He's an amazing composer, an award-winning composer, as well as pianist, keyboardist, musician, band leader. He works with some of the incredible names in the industry, and he is my special guest coming up right now. He's coming to us from a great American city. We're here in the New York area. Beautiful day along the coast, really nice. He's coming to us from Columbus, Ohio, USA. That's his hometown. He's, toured the country and beyond. He's worked with so many incredible artists. His music is all over the radio, as well as Spotify and iTunes. You can get samples of the music as well. We're going to tell you how you can do that. And he's got new music out, which we're very excited about. I've been a fan of his for years. We were just talking off air backstage about his incredible collection of music, and he's collaborated with lots of other fabulous artists over the years as well. So it's really cool stuff. Let me show you this. This is the newest music that is coming out. And we're really excited to share this with you here on JMS. Again, thanks for joining us, everybody. So cool to have you here. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and spread the word. Tell you a little bit about our very special guest. JT is a multi-talented composer, as I mentioned, a pianist, keyboardist, born in the land of funk, which is Dayton, Ohio, and now he's in Columbus. He attributes his humble beginnings in music to being captivated by a family of musicians, a father who was a professional drummer, and JT's mother, a church organist and pianist, and his brother, Marvyn Wheatley, who recorded and played with Parliament and Slave. Industry influences were soul and funk legends like the Ohio Players and Lakeside and Zapp, and so many others. Driven to continue the legacy of great musicianship, JT became a member of the popular Columbus-based R&B jazz group NexLevel for several years. The collectives released 2 albums, a string of singles, and shared stages with countless notable artists. 2021, the impact of course, the pandemic. JT was writing and releasing the up-tempo, feel-good melody, Weekend Groove, which we were talking about. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the newest music, which is Late Night. And we're going to tell you how you can get that as well. Matter of fact, he has so much music that is out, all kinds of music that you can add to your collection. Fabulous rhythms, incredible melody. Just a great musician, an amazing composer. And of course, his company is JTJazz. Uh, he's hit the stages, he's been in the studios, he loves what he does, and he's an extraordinary musician as much as he is a composer and so much more. So he's here. We're very excited to have him here. We're going to share a lot of cool things with you on the show. And one of the other things, too, that I want to tell you about our guest before we welcome him on the show, the Melody Weekend Groove. Well, that featured Althea Rennie, which catapulted the musician into solo artist status. The well-received track has garnered close to 200,000 Spotify streams to date. Then he went on to release a 7-song EP in 2022, the inauguration of JTJazz, and of course, he being behind the keys, marking the commencement of a new pathway and birthing several singles from the project. Really incredible. And, Judah Seeley, a rising creative with the contemporary jazz genre, is known for his unique sound that comes from a blend of R&B jazz, gospel, neo, soul, and funk. The common thread between himself and JT, Seeley's smooth saxophone style is heavily influenced by Kirk Whalum and Gerald Albright, Boney James, just to name a few. And of course, with 2024 being a leap year, which some say is the year of inspiration, JT resolutely followed his passion by keeping his legacy in music alive by teaming up with heavyweight producer guitarist Adam Hawley. Adam was a guest on our show. Adam is another incredible performer. Oh boy, I have a lot of his music too. He also collaborated again with highly sought after saxophonist, I just mentioned, Judah Seeley, to create an alluring mid-tempo track entitled Late Night, available now on digital platforms worldwide. Again, with Judah and Adam joining him, you got to add this to your music collection. You're going to feel so darn good, folks. It's really, really good music. Absolutely fantastic music. Again, he's got so much out there, and we're going to welcome him to the show. He's coming to us again from Columbus, Ohio, USA. And here he is. JT, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, Jim, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Very, very welcome. I'm so excited that you teamed up with Judah and Adam. They're brilliant performers themselves. Adam was a guest on our show, I'd say about a year ago around the holiday time. So we did a lot of holiday tunes and stuff like that. His tour dates are incredible. So for you guys to even get some time together is amazing. How did that all come about with teaming up with Adam and Judah and putting this together? Congratulations. It's a fabulous song.
Oh man, thanks so much, Jim. I appreciate it. I was fortunate and blessed to play with Adam, and actually, I'm still playing with him as we speak. We have a few shows lined up starting next week as he hit the road and go on tour. So we kicked it off, and really such a really nice guy, kind-hearted, and a true musician and a true writer. And so, we played together a few times, and I said, hey, Adam, man, I said, I really would love to do a little collaboration with you, And so he's like, yeah, man, let's make it happen. But our schedules were kind of all over the place because I was actually touring with Adam, and then I was touring with Eric Darius at the same time. So eventually our schedules got together where we could actually plan something, and it worked out great. So at that moment, we were able to sit down and we worked some things out. And, so Adam is a great writer, as you mentioned earlier. So he actually wrote the foundation of the tune Late Night. And when we got together, I added the lead pieces to it, the lead piano, the lead melody, some aux keys. And then we were talking. And I originally thought, like, yeah, this is cool. I'm going to have Adam, really featured on this project. And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm really hearing the sax on this instead. I'm like, really? I said, okay. I can hear it. I trust you. I trust him. He's #1 Billboard composer and artist, right? So we started talking, and we both knew Judah because I actually met Judah in Buffalo, New York, when we were playing for Adam Hawley together. So Judah and I kicked it off.
It's a big family, isn't it?
Oh man, a huge family. And so at that point, you know, I told Adam, I said, hey man, you know, let's try Judah on this one. And so he said, yeah, hit him up and let me know what happens. So I hit up Judah, and Judah was like, hey man, absolutely. I'll send me the song, you know, the file, and I'll take it over from there. And, you know, he asked me some of the things I was looking for. And pretty much I just wanted to have his signature on it. You know, I didn't want to put him in a box. You know, sometimes that's something that can be done so easily. And I didn't want to put him in a box. I wanted him to be free and to feel the groove and the tune and just flow with it. And let me tell you, he knocked it out the park. I mean, he just simply killed the tune. So once I got the files back from him, got with Adam. Adam loved it, and we were just blown away by it. So, and the rest is history. Adam went ahead and, you know, of course, he's a co-writer and a producer of it, and he mixed the tune as well. So once we got all that stuff together, we were good to go, and that's how we all got together. It was an amazing experience, and it's really good to work with people who have a passion for music and who has a passion for helping others, and who
That's
takes
key.
time
Yeah.
out. You know, it's really, really key
Yeah.
and essential. So yeah, I'm very thankful for those guys, and man, we're excited. We're very, very pleased with the project. So yeah.
So you're a Dayton, Ohio boy, and you had music in your family early on, which I think is a cool thing. Tell us about the Thompson household and all the music that was coming at you, and how that really inspired and influenced your decisions and sort of your trajectory as far as going into music, studying it, and becoming the incredible performer, composer that you are today.
Oh wow, yeah. So it started when I was at the age of 5 years old, pretty much 4, but 5 years old. As you mentioned earlier, my dad was a former professional jazz drummer, and he decided to retire and be the family man and do some things, you know, to help out with the family. So at that time, he put up the drums in this closet in the basement. It's like a room. So me being, you know, inquisitive, I'm downstairs as a little 5-year-old. I go into this room that looks really huge to me at the time, you know, and in order to turn the light on, you have to walk into the center of the room and pull the string. Well, of course, I'm too short to pull the string. So I propped the door open. I remember this like it was yesterday. I propped the door open so the daylight that was outside the room could be my light inside the room. And I saw these shiny objects. And I just started pulling the drums out one by one in the pieces. And I could see my dad looking at my mom like, uh-oh. So at that moment, he taught me how to play the drums. I started learning how to play the drums. We used to listen to albums and 8-tracks from like all the big band stuff like Count Basie, Charles Earland, Duke Ellington, Jimmy Smith, Richard Groove Holmes, Stan Getz, Miles Davis, Cannonball Adderley. I mean, like all these famous, because that's what he did was the big band.
Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich, of course. Yes, cannot forget him, right? And Louis Bellson, right? So all those big names, and we used to listen to it day in and day out. And then my mom, by her being a church musician, organist and pianist, you know, I learned a lot from watching her. At that time, I started becoming interested in doing both drums and keyboard or organ. So back home in Dayton, and I don't know how many people online are from Dayton or familiar with Dayton, but there's a store, it used to be a store called BHA. And BHA was the top piano organ store back in the day. And whenever you would buy an organ from there, you would get free lessons on Saturdays. So by this time, I'm like 6, 7 years old. And so, you know, Jim, it was tough for me because on Saturday, what is it that a young kid loves to do first thing in the morning, which is when the lessons were? Watch cartoons, right?
Yes.
so
That's
so
right.
at that moment, you know, it was hard for me as a kid. I'm like, Mom, I like it, but I don't want to miss my cartoons, you know. So
The cartoons, the
Yeah.
Fruit Loops, the
Oh,
Captain
yeah.
Crunch,
yeah,
you know,
Pop-Tarts,
the
right?
Lucky Charms, the Pop Tarts, the Matchbox cars,
Right,
you know, all
right.
this stuff. Flip the
Yeah,
baseball
man.
cards. Get out on that bicycle, the banana seat bike.
That's it. That's it. Right. You got it. Yeah. All that stuff. I was missing it. So she at that point said, okay, I tell you what, I'm not going to make you do something you want to do, but when you're ready, then you'll be ready. So at that moment, I just started going to rehearsals with her, watching her, and then of course playing in the band in school. And so the music was always going in our house, everything from gospel to jazz to blues to some R&B. And then that's when my oldest brother Marvyn started playing in different groups like Slave and Steve Arrington Hall of Fame and, Dayton's Son. And it just became such an amazing experience, a moment of music for me in that household. So it was all in my bones. I couldn't help but do it. And then from there, I brought home a cello, and the cello was bigger than me. And so where we lived on the Westwood side of Dayton, I had to catch the bus to Ruskin, which is on the other side. So my parents said, hey, that's really nice, but if you were to get jumped or beat up and someone takes an instrument, we have to pay for it. We can't afford it. So they said, pick something else. So
it's tough to run fast with a heavy cello.
cello.
If it's a piccolo, maybe a piccolo you can take off or hit with the piccolo, but the cello?
Exactly. It's kind of tough, right? So that's when I picked up the trumpet. And then from there, I started playing all the different brass instruments, everything, French horn, trumpet, trombone, etc. And then still maintaining interest in playing keys. And so I was in every band that there was. So I love music. It was in and out of the household constantly. I went from concert band, jazz band, marching band. I played bass drum and snare drum in marching band all the way through college. And so it was in my bones. I couldn't help it.
Did you ever circle back to the cello at all? Did you ever say,
no,
you know what?
But it's interesting. I had another interview with Sabrina Taylor on her platform, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to circle back to it because it's such a beautiful instrument, and it's really beautiful. So I think I am going to go back to that and do something with that one for sure. So.
The cello, I've always loved the sound of the cello, and you probably agree. I mentioned it 1,000 times on this show, but I've mentioned this way before even starting this series. Whenever I hear the cello, there's something about the melancholy nature of it, the tonality, the warmth, the depth, the low sound. It's sort of like an authoritative sound. It sort of summarizes, kind of like a bass guitar as well, but it sort of summarizes and brings everything together. And it really stops traffic for me. When I hear that deep, warm, loving sound of that cello from anywhere, whether it's mixed with orchestrations of other, instruments that are playing off it from an orchestra or a band, or just as a solo instrument, it really gets right in and stops me from everything. And all of a sudden I'm breathing slower and deeper. And I had a conversation with a Juilliard grad who's a cellist, actually just before this show, a couple of years ago. And I said, I'm going to throw this out there. And this may sound a little strange, but maybe it'll resonate with you. And I said, it's just what I just said. Whenever I hear the cello, it stops traffic for me. It just really gets me and makes me feel warm, deep, important feelings. And I said, the other thing too is I think for me, because I love all instruments, and they all have their purpose and they're very important. However, for some reason, when I hear the cello, I sort of connotate it with the heart. So if the human heart made a sound that mimicked an instrument, for me, the warmth, the melancholy nature of the cello is the one that does it. And he said, here he is, the Juilliard grad, cellist. Makes total sense, Jim.
Yeah.
That's not crazy. He said, because it's one of the instruments that is closest in sound to the human voice. And this is why you are giving it human qualities, and you are associating all of these rich, deep feelings about life and living and past, present, future, and all of it, holidays, childhood, everything, with that sound of that very important, deep, warm, melancholy cello.
Yes.
Now I'll ask you, JT,
Mm-hmm.
the expert, does that make sense to you?
Totally. No, it does, because the unique, distinctive sound of a cello, it cuts through and breaks through, and it's such an instrument that, to me, it completes orchestration. Um, and so when I hear the cello, I it music already takes me to different places, but when you have a certain instrument that gives something extra, that is so distinct and unique to me, this is my opinion, it helps to take me somewhere else further, and it allows me to be more open about what it is to be learned, or what's to hear, which is very important. And music itself is such a universal language, but it's also the frequencies. When you're speaking scientifically, there's the level of different frequencies that also helps one to understand, to feel, to break through, to ram through, or press through. So, if someone is deaf, they cannot necessarily hear, but they can feel the frequencies. And so those frequencies takes them to where that they desire to be, or where they will allow music to take them, or those frequencies take them. So frequencies, music, it means a lot, and it can say a lot, and it can just penetrate through different things that people would not believe, which is one of the reasons why music therapy, music is such an important and vital tool for people who may have loss of memory, or of some sort, and it helps to bring back remembrance. The whole spirit of the musicality itself helps to bring back remembrance, or help to spark or to ignite something that would help stimulate the mind, which has been proven for many, many, many years, as well as to help control environments, control the atmosphere, or to help prepare for battle or for war, or to help prepare for study, right? Or to help a child go to sleep, or things like that. So, music itself is not to be taken lightly, because it is so powerful, and it doesn't matter your nationality or your gender. It is truly universal. It
Exactly.
does not matter your race, your color, your gender, your creed. It's like, hey, I am what I am, and it can take you where you allow it to go.
Great answer to that question.
Thank you.
It's exactly how I feel, and you put it so beautifully. There is something about the frequency and the way it is. It does complete the cello. And sometimes even the flute, too, can have a similar sort of effect for me.
Mm-hmm.
Certain tones of the flute can really penetrate. It's such a pleasant sort of sound, certain tones with the flute. Um, then, of course, all these different instruments, it's just the fact that you have an opportunity to be immersed in this. How did you take this early introduction into it through the family,
Mm-hmm.
and then really start to make this a real passion and drive for you, and actually turn it into a career? What was that process like for you, JT? Because it's never an easy one, but if you love it and you're passionate, you stick with it and you give it your all, and sometimes it pans out. What was the process like for you, going from loving it and having it around the house to actually pursuing your own dream?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. So, starting out as a child with music, as a child, I was just so intrigued with the different types of instruments and instrumentation, in music itself. Everything that we did as children, whether we go skating or go to a game or go dancing or just going outside with our beat boxes, with our boom boxes rather. Those sorts of things played a major role in our lives. And so that part right there, with me being blessed with such great parents that supported me and backed me in my musical decisions, that really helped to intrigue and to encourage me to go further and to really embrace music, and to really look at it for what it is, as well as being involved in different things like, at my church every week, with the school bands, every quarter, semester, that sort of thing. It kept me busy. When I saw that my brother was traveling between New York and LA, and then when he took me to the studio with him, to watch and to observe as a little kid, them recording and rehearsals, that was something that took me to a whole nother level because I thought it was so cool. And when he would introduce me to different artists backstage before the shows, with rehearsals and that sort of thing, that was very unique to me, and it's so encouraging. So that helped spark me as well. But I tell you, as far as dealing with it from a career perspective, or even looking at doing music as a career, it was not only my parents and my brother, but I have to give appreciation and thanks to two people outside of my family that were like family, that really helped me to learn, to understand self-discipline, and to really embrace music further. And those two people are my two band directors. One is Mr. Leroy Hall from Dayton, Ohio, who was my band director and pretty much a big brother / uncle, if you will, in my junior high school days. And then now he's Dr. James Oliver, who was also my high school band director and college band director. Those two guys right there, they allowed us back in the day, as kids who really wanted to do music, who really loved music, they allowed us to do things. They taught us how to record on a 4-track. They taught us how to practice certain techniques and certain scales. They helped us create groups. We formed our own local groups to play around the city locally, which helped to move me in that direction of a career-based type of movement. And then also, like in my junior high school days, Mr. Hall, growing up in Dayton, we had some pretty tough times dealing with gangs. And as young kids, it was a lot of gang-related stuff, and I knew not to get involved with that. There were certain times when I didn't want to walk home because during that certain peak after school is when you would see most things break out, like a fight or something like that. So in order to stay away from that, we had people like Mr. Hall and Mr. Oliver say, hey, man, y'all come in the band room. And we stayed in the band room. And the band room was where it was like our family room. We were in there practicing. We were in there learning. We were talking about the history of music. We talked about music surveys. We learned about other big-time stars like James Brown, and then learned how to analyze that stuff, like the funk, like what makes that a back-trending beat, or why is that so funky, or why did he, this chord is why is here and there. And it really kept us intrigued, and there was never a moment, Jim, where my mom worried about me because she knew I was in good hands. And when it was, when it was time for me, when we were done, time to go home, they would take us in their cars, take us home. I'll call them, like, hey, Mom, on my way home. He's bringing me home. Okay, that's fine. And they made sure we had our homework done. They made sure we had a level head. We kept straight. And those are the things that really helped me embrace, and those are the things that we're missing today in our community, in our society. So from those movements to, being fortunate and blessed to play with groups like NexLevel and play for other artists and open up for other artists like Foreplay and Spyra Gyra. And then when the pandemic hit, then that pushed me more towards wanting to do something solo, wanting to do something that would help sow a seed of happiness to the people, because it was such a rough time. It was new to all of us, being told you can't go nowhere, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you're stuck in your house when we were so used to going out and, greeting each other, hanging out. And
absolutely. What was one of the roughest things about the whole thing, JT?
What's that?
Aside from the lack of connection and everything, they told us, looking out for us, that, we had to be at least a minimum of 6 feet apart from one another.
Right.
But you know what they failed to tell us?
What's that?
We were also supposed to be 10 feet away from our refrigerators.
Right.
Because a lot of people did some good eating and baking a lot of sourdough bread and eating all their childhood stuff.
Yeah.
during that time.
Sweets.
And now they're looking down saying, where did that come from?
It's a new person, right? Like,
It's
whoa,
a
wait a
whole new
minute.
person. That's right. Didn't
Yeah.
double the salary, but doubled yourself.
So yeah, the scales didn't like that too much, I tell you
No.
that much.
You were
Yeah.
also influenced by a lot of great people and soul funk legends too, like the Ohio Players and Lakeside and Zapp, featuring Roger Troutman. Tell us about how some of those sort of influenced you as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, we would see, Roger, some of the guys from Ohio Players, Shirley Murdoch, we would see them at the grocery stores, and it was just like, it was really, it was a big thing, but it wasn't a big thing because they made you feel comfortable. They made you feel, like, hey, they're regular people. So it wasn't like we were starstruck, but we still were consciously aware of like, yo, that's Roger, like, yo, that's Sugarfoot, all those people. But it was a great experience, and it was what was really cool, Jim, is that like I remember when Roger when he recorded Grapevine, heard it through the grapevine, the remake of Marvin Gaye, and then Do It Roger Do It. So he was on our famous radio station back in the day called WDAO, which was FM at the time. And he made an announcement. They said, "Hey,
Dale,
Dale." Not quite, but that's pretty close.
That should have been their jingle, right?
Yeah, that's
Right?
good. I like that.
I just thought of that. I'm a call letter guy,
quick.
broadcaster. We broadcasters, we know our call letters
There you go. There you
and
go.
our slogans.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's good. But yeah, Roger, he came on the show, and he said, "Okay, I have two songs that I'm gonna play, and I would love for the listening audience, the community, to vote on which one I should release as a radio single." So they played both songs, and at that moment, they allowed us to call in, and we voted, and that type of engagement helped to make us feel like we were truly a part of, their success, truly a part of their work. And that's something that I'll never forget, because it was a great feeling, because, and then when you see him on the street, there was never a time when, I was treated unfairly, nothing like that. And it was really, really cool. So, having those experiences with those guys was just phenomenal. And then it helped to have a brother that played phenomenal keys. It's just, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's your brother." Like, yeah, wow. So then that kind of helped, break the ice a little bit, if you will. But no, it was great growing up around that time. True music, true musicians, true artists. I mean, wow, man, it was like totally such an awesome experience. So
It
yeah.
really is, and you mentioned, you said opening up for Spyro Gyra and Foreplay.
Yeah,
Wow.
to name a few.
I have all their stuff too.
Phenomenal.
They're great,
groups.
aren't they?
Yeah, oh my God. I mean, those guys, Tom, keys. Everybody. Bob James, of course, is a true player. I've been a Bob James fan for years. And he's such a wonderful guy. But yeah, I was, very blessed and fortunate to with the band NexLevel, open up for those guys, open up for Wayman Tisdale. Remember Wayman Tisdale? Mindy A. Bear.
Another great one.
Yeah, he was a great one. Opened up for Boys II Men. We did that.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah, opened up for them. Such a wonderful time. And being able to meet with those guys and talk to them, before and after the show was just top level for me. It was great. Great experiences.
Do you stay in touch with all of them? Do you end up mingling at all? Or?
It's hard. I mean,
everybody's so busy, right?
Yeah, it's busy, and then some of the guys are on that verge of retiring, but they're so busy. And then it's a matter of just trying to catch up with them. But every now and then you cross paths while you're on the road or on a tour, either with yourself or somebody, and it's really, really cool to do that. So, but yeah, it's a great experience. It really is. A whole new world.
It really is a whole new world. When did the What came first? Obviously, being the musician came first, and then the composer. Is that how it sort of? When did the
Oh yeah.
composing part start entering your life, JT?
Um, it entered in pretty early. But at that time, I didn't really consider myself a true composer. You know, I was just coming up with tunes, right? But I was still very, very young. I want to say it hit me probably right after my dad passed away. So around 12, 13 years old is when it started hitting me as a composer. But I learned a lot, right? There's a lot to learn about writing tunes and how to write what you feel.
Yeah,
And
and so many
then,
greats too. Quincy
yeah.
Jones,
Oh
and
man, yeah,
I
Quincy.
mean the spectrum from Quincy Jones to a Henry Mancini. I mean all of
Yes.
them. It's really.
Yeah.
Did you follow some of the others how they did it, and were there composers that gravitated to you or you gravitated to?
Yeah. So I learned at a very early age how to appreciate all kinds of music, all genres. So everything from rock, pop, R&B, gospel, jazz, fusion jazz as well, like Chick Corea,
Oh yeah.
um, and classical. So I sometimes get in different modes. I sometimes get in the mode of almost like a motion picture mode, like a cinematic type of mode where I'm not really looking for a groove. I'm looking for something that's soft, sensual, but very deep and meaningful, something that comforts or soothes. And so at that moment, it puts me in the mode of composing something that deals with a lot of good orchestration, string orchestration, or maybe some different type of sound effects that leads into that. But something to help me express that mode or that feeling that I'm going through at that moment in time. Because I do have songs that I've recorded like that. I just have not released it as a certain genre yet. Um, but I do that. And then you have other composers, like David Foster, David Benoit, Dave Grusin, George Duke, Stanley Clark, different composers like that have written songs for different movies of different genres, different
Yeah.
cultures, and so that versatility helps you stay fresh and creative. Kind of do something different. I don't want to be mundane and stuck in a position. It's like let's do something different.
Yeah.
So having that exposure and definitely being a musician first. I've learned how to play country and bluegrass. You know, with keyboards and organ, pianos and organs, and I did it. And then I remember I played at a church I used to play. I used to play at. We did Van Halen "Jump," but it was a gospel version. So I'm doing the synth stuff on that, and they went nuts. And it was like, "Oh my God, I know he does it." Yeah, that's okay. It's cool, So you learn a lot from that. So
Ever do the Pointer Sisters version, Jump for My Love?
jump. I played it before at a wedding reception.
They were guests on our show, Anita and Ruth, and
Oh my
they couldn't
gosh.
have been nicer. And it was one of the
Yeah.
final interviews, conversations that Anita did before her
Yeah.
passing. And the two of them just the history and the amount of music that they're responsible for, and
Yes.
just what it was like, growing up in Oakland and then pursuing their dream and how
Yes.
they were able to get to the levels that they got to. These
Yeah.
kinds of stories are really inspiring, right? Some
Right.
people think, look at them, silver spoon, everything was handed.
Ugh.
Generally, in these industries, it's quite the opposite. You got to really work tooth and nail
That's true.
to get noticed, to get gigs, to get recognition, to collaborate, and to have the success, which
Yes.
is the success is what follows the passion. First, it's the passion, the love of it, and then hopefully the success and those other things happen as a result of the passion, right?
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, the when you have artists such as like the Pointer Sisters and so forth, there's a certain level of respect you have for them because of all the things they've gone through, and they also the ones that help pave the way, right? To help make things available for us today, and it just it just goes without saying, there's so much respect that I have so much respect for all of the artists that come before me, and even the artists that are out with me now. Regardless of their age, music has a way of bringing people together, bringing cultures together, helping you to celebrate life, helping you to be more appreciative about things. It's just, man, I can't even talk enough about the impact of music. It's endless. And then
The great healer too.
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely. And when you talk about people who have gone through certain situations to pursue their passion in music, the challenges, everything from, racial discrimination, or you're a woman, not a man, or you're a man, not a woman, that sort of thing, or they don't like you just because they don't like you, or they may even be jealous of you because they don't want you to become successful, those types of things. And a lot of those artists have gone through that, and they have paved the way. They have broken barriers for us to be able to have the access to things that we have today. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for all of them.
Which is really fantastic. What would you say for you was one of those crucial, pivotal moments in your career that really took you from like this level to that level? Usually a door opens, an opportunity happens, either that's presented to you or that you create yourself. And that was the time. If that didn't happen, maybe these other things wouldn't have followed. Is there a moment, a time, a piece of music, something that really gelled and then whoosh, things went in a positive way for you? Next level,
Yeah.
pun intended, right?
I was gonna say, good. That's a good one. Man, you are phenomenal, bro.
I tell you, I'm
I
quick.
like that.
We East Coast guys, we're quick.
You're on point, man. I love it.
We're
I
on
love
point.
it.
That's it.
Yeah, one of the things that I remember that helped me to not only take it to the next level, right, but to be encouraged and more encouraged in what I have a passion to do is when I had performed a couple of times. I performed with NexLevel one time, and one time I performed at with a church band, a gospel band, and it was so powerful and unique to me that after playing, I had these individuals that came up to me and said, they said, they asked me for my name, and I told them my name, and they asked me, how long have I been playing? And during that time, I was like, it's, I've been playing for a little while, I'm still learning. And they told me, one person said, I'm so grateful that I got a chance to hear you play. And I'm wondering, okay. They said, because when I heard you play, I felt something, and I felt encouraged to move on. I felt encouraged about my life. And at that moment in time, I didn't know that, I didn't know who they were, for one, but to hear that someone feels encouraged to continue to live, which that tells me that they must have been going through something pretty rough. Maybe thoughts of giving up is what it sounded like to me. So they said that it really touched them and moved them. That was so awesome to me. And then to also hear that someone else said that, they came in, they weren't feeling well. And then after I played, they felt so much better. They felt like they weren't even in pain. And, it was like they felt happy and rejuvenated. So those two moments there alone took me to a whole nother level, and just so grateful, to God that I was able to be at the right place at the right time, and to not be, selfish,
Right.
and to actually, play what was given to me to play, so that's what helped me, take it to the next level, because that's really, Jim, that's kind of like what it's all about, man, is to help someone be encouraged or uplifted, because you never know what people are going through. And there's so much that's going on right now in the world. We don't need, to be so in sadness and just disgruntledness, nothing like that. I mean, we need to do something that helps one another out, and that's what I believe in doing. So that's my purpose. I'll say it like that. That's my purpose.
Burt Bacharach, Dionne Warwick with "The World Needs Now" is "Love, Sweet Love."
Love, sweet love, right?
Pronto, ASAP. Yeah, stat. We really, really do.
Yeah,
Um,
energy.
you're quite amazing. And again, I encourage folks, you can go to Spotify and
Oh, thank you.
iTunes and all the digital platforms for the music. And you're going to want to add it to your collection. It's going to really, you're just going to get with the rhythm and the vibe, but the music just takes you into different places. And it's special music. And it's music that, again, is so well thought out, yet it feels like it's so loose. To have a master that is quite a thing, and to be able to present it in the way that you do, JT. Like I say, for me, you talk about music being so important and the great healer and things of that nature. I say music and humor are
Yes.
two things that are universal, that are great healers. And I say that I don't smoke, but music is my cigarette.
Gotcha.
I go to music
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, there doesn't happen to be a day that goes by where music isn't on in the house and or in the car or wherever. But and like you say, all kinds of music too. But it's my go-to when
Yes.
that in the ocean, or my two go-tos when things are a little crazy and you need
Right.
some
Right.
grounding. You put on the music, and all of a sudden, there's a balance, there's a grounding, and it just erases a lot of the chaos of life. And so I say music is my cigarette on so many different levels. And we've got quite a collection too. We've got a climate controlled storage unit we pay monthly for that has sealed albums, reel to reels, I mean CDs,
Wow.
cassettes, a whole bunch. I bet if we came over to Columbus, we would find a few things in the attic and the basement and on the shelves. And
Yep.
they've been commenting, they're loving what looks like an organ behind you.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's my B. It's a BV converted to B3. It's a 1943 model. I bought this in Indiana for a friend of mine. He helped me find an organ and I got it. So yeah, that's my baby there. It screams. I use that, to play all kinds of stuff, whether it be some straight ahead, some blues, some gospel. So that's the original. That's one of the originals.
That's
Yeah.
really a beauty.
I'm glad they noticed it. That's pretty
Oh,
cool. Yeah.
they've been commenting in the chat room. So now they're
Yeah.
all happy they got the answer.
There we go.
Yeah, we welcome everybody watching around the world live and those who are going to be watching this in the archives as well. You mentioned, music that's also orchestrated in a way that isn't necessarily always beat oriented and things of that nature. Have you had an opportunity to tap into like film scores and jingles and things like that as well? Because those are, of course, their own entity and their own specialty as well. And when you get into a good film score or even a jingle that all of us, you can remember I've had so many people on recently talking about that. We've had session musicians and jingle singers and others who've popped through. And we talk about all these great jingles that we can still remember today for soda and tuna fish and jeans and all cars and, see the USA in a Chevrolet. I mean, I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, just all these cool things. Had you ever slid into the jingle world and to film scores and things of that nature?
Man, listen, that is another arena that I would love to tap into. I have started writing some different type of scores, but I just have not been able to, launch into that area effectively. I am in contact with a couple of people who write for films and who does, a few jingles, but that's something I'm really I would love to get into because it's another world. It's another side of music. And, that's something I definitely want to do. So Have not yet, but I am definitely looking forward to doing that. I just have to make the right connections, so I may have to make
Have
a
you
couple
been
of
working
calls.
on? Have you been like penning a few things that are maybe tucked away in a drawer and then you
Mhm.
pull it out and you work on it? Are there some that you have already started?
Yeah. So I have some, not necessarily written out on composition paper. Well, I take that back. I have one, but it's not really completed. But a lot of the stuff I have is already in Pro Tools in my DAW. So I have stuff that I've already started composing. Some stuff I've completed. So it's not a whole lot, but there are a few tunes that I do have, and just being able to use different patches, different sound patches, which is what I love to do. Something different is really helps strike that or spark that interest in me. So it's a different world when you're doing
Yeah, it
similar
is.
stuff. So yeah, but I love it. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Tell us about, we mentioned in our promos, sowing a seed of happiness
Hmm.
with Weekend Groove. Tell us about Weekend Groove and Althea, of course, joining you on that as well.
Yes,
Fantastic.
man.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's my sister there, man. Althea is such a phenomenal woman, phenomenal musician and artist. Uh, Again, that was during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic, and I was wanted to write something happy, nice groove, nice tempo. And when I got done with it, I said, it'd be nice if I could have flute on here. Let me hit up Althea. So I hit her up because I play with her too. I hit her up on cell phone, and it was a holiday weekend, and she said, "Yeah, let me, shoot it to me. Let me check it out. It may be about 3 or 4 days before I can get to it, but yeah, I said, that's fine, no rush." I sent it to her. Immediately, she responded and said, "Oh my God, I love it." She said, "What exactly are you hearing?" I said, "Out there, I'm hearing this on the chorus, but I'll let you be you." And so I didn't expect it to have, anything back until maybe 3 or 4 days later. Well, she responded back to it later on that same day, and she got it done quickly, and it was phenomenal. I was so excited, and and she was excited about it. And man, she is such a phenomenal player. So, having her on that project really helped to take it, over the top. And it's just such a great an honor and a pleasure to have her on there. And so we were able to, mission accomplished with being able to uh, create something where people can pat their feet to, and nod their head, bob their head to, and really get in the groove and help uplift spirits and that sort of thing. So it's great energy, really great energy. So I'm very, very happy and thankful about that. So yeah, Althea, again, Althea, if you're watching, thank you, sis. I appreciate you.
Althea is now a Jim Master Show lovity too, right?
There you go.
How cool is that, right?
That's real cool.
Oh boy, I like the cover of this too. This is really cool.
Thank you.
Is it a particular city or background, or they just picked that for the cover art? It's nice. I love it.
Yeah, it was just picked out by the designer, and so they were able to go ahead and put everything together for me, and it worked out really well. So pretty cool.
It's a great sound, and
Thank you.
that a lot of people have responded to it as well. Right? It's a
Yes.
up tempo, feel good melody.
Right. Feel good. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole
And
purpose.
I think thus far and counting, almost 200,000 Spotify streams to date and counting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I'm very grateful. Let's just keep it going. It's
So
a
let's
great
see
feeling.
on Spotify, that's probably about what, $12 or
Right. Right.
we've had a lot of people on talking about that, how the music industry's changed and all the other, and
Oh
how
my
we
God.
had one person who was on just a couple of nights ago. I forget who it was, but they were an industry legend as well, and saying, it's changed so much from when I first started. I said, you have
Yeah.
to have, you know, a million streams just to make $10.
A million
People don't
plus.
realize. So you got to download, you got to support, right?
That's
It,
right.
it
That's right.
has changed greatly, just the way it's all distributed and
Yeah.
received, right?
Right. That's right. The whole market has changed. I mean, what happened to CDs, right? What happened to cassette tapes, DVDs, Blu-rays? I mean, all that stuff is now cloud. It's now, digital files, WAV files, for people to get access to their phones or their smart devices. So streaming is definitely a different world. It takes over a billion sometimes streams in order to see a decent sized paycheck to maybe go grocery shopping with, right? With the cost of food. But yeah, you're right. People, we have to, help encourage and educate, please download, please purchase, that sort of thing. That's where we really can see the money come in. And hopefully one day they'll get the whole streaming thing fixed where it's absolutely, totally fair to the artist and to the composers. Because right now it's really kind of, there's some questions, but, we're grateful that we have a platform to have our music on.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Marsha Lyon is watching in Massachusetts. Good question. Talking about Spotify, he's on all the digital platforms, but specifically she's looking for you on Spotify. So is it under JTJazz, or if they're looking?
Right. No. So it's going to be under Jesse Thompson.
Jesse Thompson.
JESSETHOMPSON. JTJazz is the name of my company. It's also my performance name. But for the as far as recordings right now, it would be under Jesse Thompson. So you should see me out there.
So you see the spelling there, Marsha, Jesse, and then Thompson, just Jesse Thompson, and you'll have it there on Spotify. Marsha. Yeah. Now we have a very active, lovely audience here. They download, they order the book, they do it as we're talking.
Wow, that's awesome.
They a lot of energy and passion on the Jim Master Show, which we love. A lot of music out there too that you've been involved in, right?
Yes, Obsidian. That features Obsidian features two artists, Rashawn O'Dell, who is an artist and a composer. But he's the bassist for Brian Culberson.
Oh yeah, he's great also, too. I love all his stuff.
Yeah,
wow, he's terrific,
phenomenal, right? He's a great guy. And then Carl Cox, who's a saxophonist for Mesa, who also plays in Incognito as well. So linking up with these two phenomenal artists is just great. Just been fantastic. So
that's really great. Yeah. Have you done? A lot of them. I've also done Christmas. Have you dabbled into you've dabbled into the Christmas world too, right?
I have. I'm actually in the middle of doing a Christmas EP as we speak.
See, I knew that. I'm very intuitive. That's
it,
right?
You're on it, man. You're on it. So, I'm working on that now as we speak. That will be my very first solo Christmas project. So
that's gonna be nice.
We get that together. But yeah, I'm excited about it.
We're gonna have that in our collection for sure. Keep me posted on that. Here's another two.
Yep.
Tell us about this one.
So Close to You is a song that I co-wrote with Justin T. Young, who's on sax, and this song was a single, and it a nice feel. I was able to use a buddy of mine, DeJuan Watson, on drums, who's from Indiana. He's also on Obsidian as well. But able to collaborate. I do like to collaborate with other artists,
which is great.
It just shows teamwork and versatility, and just being able to think outside the box again, right? So I like to share the love too. So
absolutely right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this one, The Right One, Baby. So as I mentioned earlier, one of my band directors, Mr. Leroy Hall, he and I both wrote the song. Actually, he wrote the song and I rearranged it and did a little bit of co-writing. And he said, "Hey man, do what you want with this tune." I was like, "What? Really? Like, awesome? Really?" And so it's been a dream come true to be able to do a song and work with such someone who's such an inspiration to me musically and in my personal life as well. So I was really happy about that tune. So The Right One, Baby.
The Right One, Baby.
Yep. Now this one is not me. So I don't know about Kansas Bound.
That's what I thought, right? When we were looking at that, we said,
I think that one probably got leaked in from Spotify because sometimes
they sort of merged it into you.
Yeah. So I have to report that.
So they spotted you driving through Kansas and said,
Instead
put
of
him
Ohio.
in there. He's already mentioned Indiana several times, so we know he's gone to Indiana.
Right.
Now he's
Indiana,
Kansas bound.
Buffalo. Yeah. He's like,
oh
Kansas?
My God.
Yeah.
That is funny. And of course, this too, you mentioned that's the company, right?
Yes, that's my company, JTJazz LLC. And, we got a lot of things that we're working on. We're in the process of working with some youth from my hometown, and we're looking to do some really, really cool things as mentors. And more news about that will come out. And then, Jim, I'll definitely keep you posted on that as well. I'm really excited. We were able to play a major role in one of the mentees at one of our schools back home for graduation. Man, it's just so great to be in tune and to communicate with the kids and spend time with them. And, as I say, keep the music alive. It was such a great time. So we have more to come about that. But, man, it was really good to be a part of it.
This is a great shot here, huh?
Yeah, that's back home in Dayton. Jimi Hendrix, the one and only. That shot was taken by my photographer, Lamar Paisley, who's really, really great, and Shutter Eye photo. And
some of these shots, I don't know.
Yeah,
I see an actor in there.
There we go.
I don't know. There he is.
Someone told me, they said, "Man, you look like Terrence Crews." I'm like, what? I was like, wow.
It's a cool look,
Thanks. Thank you.
It really is. That's a great shot too.
Thank you. Yeah, that was that's my old Roland guitar, or they call it the Dookie stick. I have the newer one now. Yeah, that's my
another
George
great
Duke,
instrument.
Thing.
We showed this too.
Yeah. So this tune, It Doesn't Matter, got a lot of spins on this one. This features Lynn Roundtree, trumpeter.
Another great one, yeah.
Artist, yeah. And him and Jeff Kennedy on drums. So everything else is me. I'm playing all the other instruments except for drums and trumpet. And this was such a fun tune to write and to collaborate with these guys on. Nice funky groove, but also authentic in its own unique way, with using the acoustic piano as well as a trumpet and acoustic drums. It just really worked out really well. So very excited about that tune.
I want to throw this in here. I know I've mentioned this with a couple of other guests, and it was just such a cool statement that I thought it was really interesting to share, especially, because our show has guests from all different, genres of life. But when we talk music, we've had 2 to 3 times, I think 3 times now, Melissa Manchester has been a guest on our show.
Okay.
And she's an amazing person, beautiful person, phenomenal talent, and just a beautiful lady inside and out. And I asked her about what inspires her to write music. I mean, all these great hits and everything over the years. And she's still out performing. We just saw her recently, and she's still doing her thing. And I said, and she just did a collaboration with Dolly Parton, which was amazing. I think it was Midnight Blue. I said to her, Melissa, what inspires you? Can you be inspired walking into a supermarket, being on a train, just walking through a botanical garden, going to the ocean, climbing a mountain, whatever? She said, all these things inspire me. She said, sometimes what happens, Jim, is I'll be waking up from a dream, sleeping on the couch or in the bed, or I'll walk from one room to the other in the house, and all of a sudden I'm hit with this incredible inspiration. So I say, well, what happens? What do you do with it? She said, I try to capture it immediately. So what I do is I run right to my piano, and I have a recorder set up next to the piano, and I press record, and then I sit down and I start going, and whatever is flowing in and through and out of me, I'm getting. And it might not even be anything that's maybe some mishmash or whatever, but I'm going to record that because it's happening now. And I want to savor this burst of energy, passion, and inspiration that's coming. And I'll have it saved. And then I'll work it out later and fine tune it and put it together. Because if I don't do it then, it's just going to go and weaken and dissipate. For you, do you have moments like that, like Melissa Manchester does, where, some people, they start, if they're a singer, they start, mouthing the words on their iPhone or whatever to capture it. What happens for you?
Yeah, she's absolutely correct, 1,000% correct. So what I do is I do a couple of things. One, Of course, I always have my cell phone with me. So if I'm not able to get to a keyboard at times, I grab my cell phone recorder and I hum out what I'm hearing. And then at that moment, I make notes, verbal notes as far as what I'm doing. I'll say this is the lead part, this is the background part, this is the bass line, here's the drum rhythm, here's the guitar rhythm, here's what the horns are going to do. And then I'll start naming the different patches that I would love to, or I would like to use for those particular sounds or that particular line or run or chords. And then the other thing is that I'll come down here to my room and I'll, just start recording. Just hit the record on this thing and just let it go. And a lot of times, I learned a long time ago that's the best thing to do, because no matter if I'm near a keyboard or not, if I have some device that I can record it, because it's not just capturing the tune, it's capturing the moment of the tune or the moment of the idea, the creativity, the energy. That's so key, because oftentimes if you're not careful, if you wait till later, it may not be gone, but the effect may not be the same. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't have that same effect as it did when you first got the idea. And so I may get an idea while I'm in there brushing my teeth in the bathroom. I got my phone. Let me hum this out. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then I know what's going on, and then I come down here and record it out, and I'm able to replay on demand the actual energy, the intent behind it, and then I can go from there. And then
does the toothbrush ever help with percussion?
With the frequency or the? I got
a beat there.
One,
I got a beat
like,
there.
Yeah.
Right?
You'd be surprised.
Anything could be an instrument. Hey, as kids, didn't everybody start with the pots and pans in the kitchen?
Oh, definitely. Pots and pans and the paper towel rollers, all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, the paper towel roller is what, the trumpet or
Could be your trumpet, and also your microphone.
So. Yeah, well, I would know. Yeah, the microphone. It's good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Our next guest.
I
know. I used to run around with a little Panasonic tape recorder with that little condenser mic you plug in, and I used to interview the relatives, and I used to, I was sort of like the reporter, the host, what have you, and we used to do plays in the garage and with all the neighborhood kids and in the backyard and all that fun stuff. Man. I think we need to bring all that back, don't you?
Great times, man.
We're missing all that stuff. Yeah, we had block parties, and neighbors knew each other, and when you went trick or treating, there wasn't fear of attack. Get off my lawn. All I want is some candy corn, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I came for. Monster some candy corn. Right? You got some Reese's peanut butter cups or little Three Musketeers. That's all I want.
That's it. Just keep it simple, right?
It has changed. Yes, it has changed.
It has.
Why do you love doing what you do? What you do brings, and we're blessed. We're blessed to do work that we've worked hard for, that we've studied, that we've become educated in, that we've tweaked and fine-tuned. And if you think about all the years and hours put in, it's extraordinary. And then there are the blessings, the residual from putting that time in and loving it. You are doing work that reaches the masses, but also reaches heart and soul. Mm-hmm. And it's quite a thing when you have the ability to do that. And, it's entertaining, the music, but it also goes deeper. It really reaches levels that are beyond even words. Knowing that, what are some of those incredible things in your life that drive you, that keep you passionate, that keep you creative, that even at times when you're like, you come up upon the instrument and say, I've got nothing today. I've got nothing. How do you motivate yourself, and what are the things around you that motivate you?
So I've learned that sometimes even if you don't feel like you have anything to create or whatnot, I've learned that you still put it into motion. So I will still sit down at a keyboard or a piano and just start playing, even if it's something that I already know, even if it's a song that someone else's song or cover tune. And then oftentimes, if I don't feel like I have anything, by the time I'm playing and getting something going, then that's when something comes up. So for me, my inspiration is just having the ability, for one, to have the gift and the talent is an inspiration all by itself. For two, to have an instrument to play that gift and talent on, because, I'm learning to appreciate and to understand and know that not everyone has the ability that I have. And some people would love to have it, but for whatever reason they don't, whether it be because of a health condition or whatnot. So that encourages me to continue. And then also knowing that we have people out there, we have listeners, I have supporters that I'll look in the messages and oftentimes I say, hey, I love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. Have a great day, JT. Thanks for your music. Thanks for doing what you do. Those sorts of things are very encouraging as well. But on top of all that, I just believe that a lot of times, and it's like a faith move too, right? You may not be feeling well that day, but if you still go into motion, go into action, if you're telling yourself, hey, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to be all right. Whatever you think, that's what you're going to be, right? So it's like if you have that in your head and you're believing that and you're speaking that, you're changing things in the atmosphere, you're actually making execution into what is to be. So my creativity at that moment, things just start to flow, start to happen. And then also understand this too. You're not going to create every day all the time. You're not. I mean, that's
probably healthy not to, right? You take breaks, right? You unwind, you unplug, come back. When you do take breaks and you do unplug so you can reboot and come at it fresh, what do you do? What are some of the things you like to do? Do you meditate? Are there things you do to be able to pull away and then come back at it with a fresh perspective?
Oh, yeah. I mean, meditation is key. Go outside, take a walk, maybe believe it or not, do something constructive, around the house, with my hands,
take out the garbage, get the laundry done.
Yeah. Like a long walk. Yeah. No.
Pull some weeds.
Well,
whatever it takes. We all do what we've got to do, right?
Exactly. Get that breath of fresh air, do something different, maybe even play a little game or something, switch it up a little bit. Sometimes even watch a movie, or something like that. But a lot of times, I just like to just kind of, I may walk away, take a breather, do something different, and then come back refreshed. Like anything, it's healthy. It's healthy to take a break, walk away. And like I tell the kids when I talk to them in schools, it's okay to pause. It's not okay to quit. It is. Right. It's not okay to quit. So it's all right. Pause for a minute, rest for a little bit, take a pause moment.
Good way to look at it.
That's fine.
Right.
But don't quit. And so that's
don't give up on yourself.
There you go. Exactly. Yep. That's it.
And don't let naysayers or others out there talk you down or talk you out, right?
That's it. Absolutely. Because when you do that, when you quit, you let someone, talk you out of doing whatever it is you're trying to do, you'll never know what it's like to win. You'll never know what it's like to be victorious. You'll never know what it's like to actually be fully complete, to achieve that goal, because you quit. So that's just there's no options here. So like you say, you stay encouraged, you stay motivated. Don't let anyone discourage you. Because they're going to talk. It's okay. It's a part of life. But you continue to keep moving forward, keep pressing forward and toward, keep going. Just do not stop. Do not stop. So,
have you had to remind yourself of that over the years sometimes too?
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think if there's someone that says they haven't, I don't know if they're really necessarily telling the truth, because every now and then there's something that may happen in your life that, even if it's for a quick moment, that may zip by to tell you, hey, stop. Or, why don't you chill out? Why don't you look at this instead? Which I call a weapon of mass distraction. You don't want to be distracted. You want to stay focused, So, yeah, absolutely. tell myself that, and it's important, to recognize that. So
It really, really is. And when you do, doors open up, you have a different, fresh perspective. You can breathe deeper. Your
yeah,
blood pressure is
absolutely,
lowered,
absolutely,
which is so important, to be able
yes.
to continue going forward and creating the art and sharing it, like you did with this,
Ah, there we go. Boom, man, you
the
got the pictures.
inauguration
Yeah.
of JTJazz. Tell us about this.
This is my first project. This one here was the introduction of me.
Very
Some
important one,
people heard
right?
of me, some people
Yeah.
have not. Yeah, so a lot of people. There's some people that know me from playing with other artists, which is fine. They say, "Oh yeah, you play with, Eric Darris, you play with Adam Holly, or you play with Althea Renee." Yeah, absolutely, Jeanette Harris. But to come out like this was to say, "Hey guys, this is me," you know, and this is something that what I do and I love to do, and so it's my way of introducing myself to the public, to the people. So
That's it. I've arrived. I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Can I
Hey, I
help
like
you?
what you
Yeah.
posted just now with Marsha.
Isn't that great,
Motion
Marcia? My friend
provides
Marcia.
emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. That's great. That's great, Marsha. Yeah, there you go. Motion provides emotion.
it really does.
Nice.
You got to
It
keep
does.
going, keep moving,
Yeah.
and sometimes that requires reinvention, right? During
Hmm.
this crazy pandemic. I
Yeah.
whisper it because YouTube goes crazy if you say it too loud. Can't
Oh,
say those
gotcha.
words. Um, we What have you learned about yourself
Hmm.
during the nuttiness of the last few years? And
Hmm.
how has it influenced your perspective, your music, your journey during the great pause?
Um, I've learned resiliency. Um, I've learned boldness. Um, I've learned to be consistent and persistent. And it's still a learning thing for me, right? It's what I call continuous learning, continual learning. Um, but during that moment of pause, those things I've learned. I've also learned that um, it's okay. You know, it's okay if people feel a certain way about you that you don't agree with. It's okay. I've learned that you know to continue to be myself and to continue to stay focused and to do what I know I have a passion and been called to do. So, um, and part of that is to inspire other people and to just to help uplift and to express myself musically. Um, I've also learned that you know there's so many phenomenal musicians and vocalists out there that there's enough room for everybody. There's no such thing as this is my sandbox. This is just me, mine. That we all can make progress. We all can achieve, things together, and that there's still room. There's still plenty of room out there. So during that great moment of pause, there's those things that I've learned, and then also just learn to understand and know who I am, where I'm from, and to maintain my identity. And so that's very important in the industry, in the music industry. Very, because there's a lot of things that I'm not going to say on here that's going on in the industry that's just crazy nuts. And I think some of those things were due to folks not knowing who they are and not choosing to keep their identity. Because Martin Luther King says, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Exactly right.
So if you don't make that stand, then you are going to fall for anything, and the next thing you know, it's just a mess. So that's those are some of the things that I definitely have learned during that great moment of pause.
Those are
Yeah,
great things you'll take with you for the rest of your life. And a
yeah,
lot of us, we've um, sort of taken a different approach. Some people have reinvented themselves. Some
hmm,
people have just re-emphasized what they were already doing, and this gave them the opportunity to do that. Whatever it is, you take the lemons, you make lemonade out of it, and you
right,
continue going forward. And
right,
that's something that you've been doing for a long time and love doing. And I just think it's fantastic. And I really encourage everybody to make sure you add his music to your collection
Please do.
because you're going to
Thank you.
love the sounds and knowing that he's creating it, composing it, performing it, bringing all these other artists who love what they're doing. I mean, there is within, I mean, because you dabble in a lot of different genres, but when you look at jazz and smooth jazz and things of that nature, fusion and soul and funk, it's a family, right? You sort of, it's
Yeah.
like brothers and sisters when you're in the studio or on stage. You're like
Yeah, man.
supporting each other, lifting each other up.
Yeah.
It's I've noticed that it is like a real brother and sisterhood of family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It really is. And you know, it keeps growing, you know. That's why I said there's plenty of room, you know, because there's a lot of room for us to work together and to do things. You know, there's no time for being envious or jealous, you know. There's so much we can achieve together. I mean, I look on a piano and you got 88 keys on a piano, you know, and if you can play those keys on a piano and make a chord or a song or melody, you know, those keys don't fight with each other. You know what I'm saying? They understand what their purpose is. So, like you said, to your point, the different genres, the everything is we're all one big family, and it's just great and a blessing to be in that family. I'm loving it, and I love meeting and working with artists all the time. Like you said, especially the artists who really have a passion for what they do, and you can tell. And man, it's just really such a cool thing. It's so cool.
It is, and you can tell
So
that
cool.
you're really enjoying it all, and much more to come, folks. And as we were saying, Weekend Groove is fantastic, and all of these other, pieces of music, and of course the latest. And in the introduction, if you joined us late, he gave us the backstory of how this came together with Judah and Adam, and just really fantastic music. And this is hot off the presses. This is brand new, coming to us from JT Jazz and
Yeah.
Jesse Thompson. And you can go, of course, to all the digital platforms, iTunes and Spotify and all the rest. And of course, his website is there, very interactive. There's merch, there's all kinds of things you can gather.
Yeah.
JTJazz.com. JT, this was a really great conversation. And like I say, what we do here, which is unique and different, a lot of people say, guests have said, and bring it back the lost art of conversation. It's not
Yeah.
an interview. There were no
Yeah.
pre-prepared questions. You didn't send us questions. We didn't script anything,
Yeah.
which could be canned and dry and typical. It was just free flowing, and I love it that way because it's
Yeah,
authentic
man.
and has feeling to it. And I think it was a fantastic thing to have you here. I know you're very busy, and I really appreciate all the
Yeah.
time. You're very generous, and congratulations on the music. Hope to, see you at some time if you're here on the East Coast
Yeah.
performing.
Absolutely.
Say hi to Adam as
Yeah.
well when you talk to him. He was a great guest on the show, and
Definitely will,
big
man.
fan of
Definitely.
his. And
Yeah.
Spyro Gyra,
Yeah.
foreplay. You got a lot of hellos you can send,
I
and
definitely will.
and I'll tell Melissa Manchester said hello and all the rest.
Yes, please do. Such an encouragement. Yeah. No,
And
I listen. I appreciate you for having me on your show. I'm honored. You know, I want to give a shout out to Tom Esty for all the work that he does and he's
oh, he's
doing.
great
Man,
too.
he's a great guy, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
he
Yeah.
takes the ball and man, he's phenomenal.
Just you go move on with it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, right? You take it and you roll with it,
And
and
you roll with
and
it.
I hope the
Right.
show met whatever expectations you had, and
Oh
you
my
enjoyed the
God.
time with me
This is
as much
awesome.
as I have with you.
Yeah, I hope you have me back, man, one day soon. Again, just let me know. I'm there, Just this is awesome. I really enjoyed the show and thank you to all of you who joined us live and thank you for those if you missed us, but now you're catching us in the archive. Thanks for checking us out and be sure to like this YouTube channel because platforms like this really helps artists, especially indie artists such as myself. It helps us a long way. So thank you so much for joining and yeah, I really appreciate this, Jim. This was great, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the endorsement of the Jim Masters show on Jim Masters TV. I really appreciate that, my friend. Come by and see us again. As I say to all the guests, we will keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back anytime, my friend, okay?
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Next time, maybe we'll hear, have you do some live music or something. His Wi-Fi's been a little funky and all that, and he wants to give you the best. So we have him back. Maybe we'll have him do something quick on the keyboards. But go to all the digital platforms and load up. A lot of them already are. They're already commenting, saying, we're already doing that, Jim.
Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah. You know what? And I also have a new video from Late Night that just dropped on YouTube as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that just dropped last week, I believe. So if they want to go to my YouTube channel, they can go out there and check it out. It's there. And as well as there's a video as well for...
it's all about supporting one another, right, my friend?
Let me know what you think. Check it out.
Got a lot of great comments coming in from our faithful and new folks. Sylvia L, you are now a Jim Masters show lovely. Just thanks for sharing your story and thoughts, JT. Thanks, so great to have you here. And let us know where you're watching from too. What state, what country. We have an international audience. Marcia Lyon in Massachusetts, USA. Thank you, Jim, for another interesting conversation, helping us to get to know Jesse and to know about him. I'm following him now on Spotify, but listening to his music tomorrow. Love via love. Thank you very much, Marcia. I really appreciate that. Hey, Kathleen, thank you. She just did a wonderful super chat in support of our show with I love my Irish green. Awesome show and guests. Thank you, Jim. They always work so hard for us. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Kathleen. That's so kind of you and generous. Sherry Larson. Thank you, Jim, for another fantastic show and all you do for us. You're amazing. Wow. Thank you, Sherry, there in Kansas. We thank you. Thank you very much. And in Missouri. And Sylvia's watching in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. Columbus. And Makita is Makita Thompson. Oh, does that sound familiar?
Yeah, these are all of my Columbus folks. Fans.
I was going to say Columbus is in the house. I was telling JT that I've been to Columbus on a TV shoot, and we got a chance to see the fantastic museum, which is the art gallery. It's a really cool place. We were warmly welcomed. We went to some great restaurants. We went to a barbecue restaurant, which was really good. Got a chance to tour the city. It's a great American city. Columbus, Ohio, and it's on the rise. It's got a rebirth happening. Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Dayton from Paula, watching in Dayton. Dayton, we love it. Dayton. Great Dayo. I love that. And I was going to say, right? Does that station still exist with those call letters? Because
I believe it's. I think it's AM now. I believe.
Maybe give them a call and say that Jim, JM and JT has a. We have a jingle for you.
There you go. I like the way you think, man.
In honor, in the spirit of Mr. Belafonte.
There you go. There you go.
Right? Yeah, WDAO. Yes, AM.
Yes, AM.
Deo.
Right, man.
That's it. Yeah. They're gonna love us at that station.
I'm telling you, man.
Maureen in Arizona says this was a wonderful conversation. Please come back again soon, JT. Until then, I wish you continued success and God bless. Merlin in Ontario, Canada. Thanks, JT, for being here, telling your story. Keep up the great work. Kathleen in New York City. Thank you, JT. She did that super chat before. Great conversation. Loved it. Best of luck for all you do. Thank you, gang. We love having all of you here, everybody watching and commenting. Don't forget to also leave a comment on our YouTube channel. We would absolutely love that. That means the world to us as well. Give this episode a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Share this episode on your social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and drop a comment in the comments section. We would love that. It is JT approved.
That's right. JT, there you go.
That's it.
Let's do it.
JT, you're the best. Thanks for stopping by. We will see you again real soon. And congratulations on Late Night and all the great music. Please keep it coming.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jim. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Absolutely. Let's stay in touch, my friend. New friend made.
Yes, sir, friend.
You be well.
Take care.
care.
Bye-bye.
Incredible, huh? What an artist. What an incredible guy. And he's really, really super talented. And again, go check out Late Night and all the other music that's available. Late Night is the newest. You can go to Spotify. I know a lot of you are already. Apple iTunes, where all the digital platforms are for music. And of course, his website as well. You can go there. Of course, his baby is JTJazz. And he's just a prolific musician, composer, a master entertainer. He is really, really good at what he does. He's got all this music out there. Keyboardist, you name it, he's done it. And he has all this great music. And next time he travels through Kansas, he's going to think about this conversation. And he's going to say he's bound for Kansas. That was fun. Again, great guy, right? Isn't it great when you get a chance to hear a little bit about these special guests that we have here on the Jim Masters Show live series? If you want to see the episode with the Pointer Sisters, it's archived on our YouTube channel. Frida Payne has been here. Florence LaRue has been here. We've had so many incredible guests from television and radio and film and stage, Broadway, and comedy and sports and culinary arts and everything you can think of here at the Jim Masters Show. For all of you who have been watching and all of you supporting what we do here, thanks to Kathleen Walker in New York City again for that super chat in support of our show that happens in the Lovely Hall chat room. We say thank you so very much. We love you all. You mean the world to us here and to me, your host and executive producer of this monster show we call the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show Series. If you are new to our show, we welcome you. Hey, gang, welcome all of our new lovely viewers and subscribers to the Jim Masters Show Live Series. We thank you so very, very much. Don't keep it a secret. Tell everybody you know about it. Spread the word, and that helps us grow. And you can binge watch all these episodes with all these incredible guests from TV and movies and music and food and sports, comedy, everything on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Thanks for all the comments coming in live as well. And come see us again. Love one another. Take care of one another. Be sure and love yourself and take care of yourself. And we'll be back. Again, I'll be right here waiting for you, as Richard Marx sang. Right here waiting for you in Lovely Hall, home to the Jim Masters Show. Spread the word. Be good to one another. And wow, what a great show, huh? And I know a lot of you are going to add JT's music to your collection. I already have a bunch, and I have more to add tonight. Late Night is going to be one of them. So, yeah, if you want to sow a seed of happiness, put on JT's music. For all of us here, this is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time. And Sylvia says, I look forward to next time, Jim. We love you, Sylvia. You are now a Jim Masters Show lovely. Tell everybody you know about our show and check out some of the past episodes. It's great to have you here, and welcome to our special series. All right, gang, we'll see you on the next one. I think you're going to go have a sandwich. I'm a little hungry. Wherever you are around the world, we love having you here. Join us again. Be well, and cheers.